Okay, welcome back. This is chapter 3 of How to Lose Weight and Keep It Off Forever by Reprogramming Your Mind. And the name of this chapter is The Conscious Mind versus the Subconscious Mind. So, in this chapter, I'm going to teach you the difference between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind and how important they are in creating your life. Okay? We're going to first start off by defining the conscious mind. We're going to talk about the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is the objective part of your mind, or the thinking part of your mind. It's the part of your mind you're aware, the part of where that you're aware of things. Like, for example, I'm aware that I'm sitting on a chair. I'm aware of that. That's in my conscious mind. I'm aware that I'm talking to you through a camera. Okay, I'm putting together a program that I pray will really help you. I'm conscious of these things. I'm trying to share with you all the information that I have so that you can take this information and apply it to your life. I'm conscious of these things. So I guess the best way to explain the conscious mind is to give you an example. Like, for example, when the best way I can think of is like when you first learn how to drive. Like, when you first learn how to drive, you're very conscious of every single thing that you do. For example, when my first time behind the wheel of a car, I remember it vividly. My father took me out the first time I got behind the wheel of a car. Now, my father is the type of person that, he yells if you do something wrong. Okay. So when he took me out to drive for the first time, I was 17 years old. At the time, you had to be 17 in the state that I lived in order to get licensed. So in order to get a permit. So when I turned 17 on my birthday, I went down to motor vehicles and I got my learner's permit. And I came home and I'd already taken the test in school. I had driver's education. I passed the test. So I took the information to the motor vehicles. I passed the test again and I got my learner's permit. So after I got my learner's permit, my father took me out driving. So we get in the car, and my thought was, I'm going to do everything right because I know my father's going to end up yelling at me. So I get in the car. I'm very conscious of it. I get in the car. I close the door. I take the key. I'm conscious. I look to where the ignition is. I put in ignition. I start the car. At the time, we didn't have to put seatbelts on. That's how old I am. But if it was today, the first thing you do, you grab your seatbelt, you put your seatbelt on. I was conscious of how I was holding my hand. At the time when I learned, it was 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. But now it's like 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. But I was conscious where I placed my hand on the steering wheel. I hit the blinker to indicate that I was getting ready to pull off. I was very conscious of doing that. I looked through the window. I adjusted the mirrors first. I forgot about that. Adjusted the mirrors, make sure the mirrors were right, that I can see out of them. Put my blinker on. I looked down over to the side over my shoulder for my blind spot. I drove out. I was conscious of how much weight I put on the gas because, it's your first time big. You don't know how much gas you had to put on. I had driver's education, which was all, we didn't get behind the wheel of the car. It was all book smart. So I put my foot on the gas just to make sure I'm going 25 miles per hour. I'm in a residential area and it was 25 miles. So I'm conscious of this, looking at the speedometer, making sure I don't go over 25 miles an hour. I get to the corner, it's a stop sign there. So I stop, make sure I apply just enough pressure on the gas so I'm not jerking the car, but I think I did jerk it the first time because you don't know exactly how much you're conscious of how much weight you're putting on the brakes. Then I was conscious to look to my left and look to my right and look back to my left. Then I count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi because I'm at a stop sign. And then I'm conscious of making that right turn and I'm conscious of driving. I get down to the next street. I put my blinker on before I get to the street because I'm conscious of how much time I'm supposed to have the blinker on. And I make that right turn again because I'm just going around the block. I drive down. I get to the next stop sign. And then I accidentally put my foot on the gas instead of the brakes, and I shot clear across the street. And it's a busy street, but thank God no cars was coming at the time that I did this. Put my foot on the gas instead of brake. I went straight through the stop sign. I rolled straight up into one of my neighbor's driveway. And then my father went ballistic. Oh my God, I can't believe it. He started hollering and screaming. I knew he was going to do that anyway. I knew I was going to do something that would cause him to holler and scream. He hollered and screamed. And he said, "That's it. I'm never taking you out driving ever again. You got to get your sister to do it because I'm not doing it." So I finally made it back to the house. And that was how that's how I learned how to drive. Now, how I learned how to become a better driver was my sister started taking me out every time somebody had to go someplace. I was like, "Oh, I want to drive." So the repetition of me doing this over and over again is how I kind of learned it. I became repetitious of doing it. I learned exactly how much gas to apply to get enough, to stay within the speed limit. I learned how much pressure to put on the brakes so that I don't jerk the car, so the car stops, on its own without jerking. I learned how to the difference between a gas and a brake and the gas and a brake, how to use those. I learned all of these things. And then eventually, once you do it enough and you have enough repetition, it becomes programmed into your subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is the most important part of your mind because what the subconscious mind does, it actually works for the conscious mind. So we can't always hold everything that we learn in our conscious mind. We have to, because we would be, occupied all day trying to do things if we didn't have it go from our conscious mind to our subconscious mind. So every time, imagine if now you've been driving for years and every time you get in a car, you have to be conscious of putting your seatbelt on and conscious of how much gas you're putting and how much. If you had to do that every single time you got in a car, it would drive you crazy because you consciously have to, be thinking about this and thinking about that. So what your subconscious mind does, it alleviates. It says, okay, the conscious mind says, okay, we've done this enough. We know how to do it. I'm going to pass this on to you, subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind does it without you thinking about it. It's automatic. It just automatically says, okay, I'll take this over. So that's how come you can get in the car now because you know how to drive. You get in the car and you don't have to think about anything. You just automatically put your seatbelt on. Your mirrors is automatically adjusted. You automatically hit the blink anytime you're going to turn. You automatically know how much gas to put on, how much pressure to put on the brake. You automatically know to stop at the stop sign. You may not, sometimes you don't even stop the stop sign. This is exactly how you can know when you do something for a long time. Like let's say, for example, that you drive to work every day. And the first day you drive to work, you're conscious of how you're getting there because you don't know. So you might have your GPS on, or you might just kind of figure out or get your way there to your job. But you're conscious of, okay, I got to make a right turn here. Okay, what does that say? Okay, I got to make this. But once you do it enough, let's say a week after you've done it, now you no longer need the GPS. You just automatically do it. You're on autopilot. You had enough repetition of it so that now your conscious mind can say, hey, listen, subconscious, I don't want to have to think about how to get to work every day. You just take over. And your subconscious mind takes over because your subconscious mind is your subjective part of your mind. It takes whatever the repetition is that you've been putting in the thoughts that you had. It takes the beliefs that you had, the emotions that you had, and it takes these things and then it makes everything work on autopilot for you. Like you don't have to think about it. Let's say, for example, breathing. You don't have to think about how to breathe. You're just going to automatically breathe. You don't have to sit here every day and go, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You don't have to do that because your subconscious mind does it for you. It automatically breathes for you. So you don't have to think about it. See, subconscious mind walks for you. Like when you get up, not like when you was a child when you first learning how to walk. When you first learned how to walk, you were conscious of how to walk. You got up and you may have fallen down and then you get back up and you keep repeating it until you learn how to do it. It's the repetition of learning how to walk. And then after a while, your conscious mind says, hey, I don't have to think about this anymore. Subconscious mind, it becomes your job. So the subconscious mind takes over. You get up and you walk. You don't have to think about put one foot in front of the other, put one foot in front of the other, put one foot in the next. And you have to think about that. It works on its own because the subconscious mind is the biggest part of your mind. I know a lot of times when you learn about subconscious mind, people say, think of it as an iceberg where the ice, you see the big part in the beginning, that's the conscious mind. And then under the water is this huge block, which is your subconscious mind. That's basically what it is. Your subconscious mind is the data part of your computer. It holds all the information and it holds all the information. It holds everything that you ever seen, touched, smelled, felt, all the five senses, what the see, touch, hear, touch, smell, touch, all the five senses, anything that ever happened in your life is stored in your subconscious mind, even if you're not even aware of it consciously. Your subconscious mind takes it into your database and it stores it there. And it stores it there just in case it needs that information later on in life. That's how come you can hear about people who have they witnessed a car accident and they might have seen the car, but they don't remember the license plate. But if they get under hypnosis, which is basically putting your conscious mind to sleep, and it awakens your subconscious mind, which never sleeps, and it brings that information up. So they can remember the license that they saw that they weren't even conscious of seeing, but their subconscious mind took it in, because your subconscious mind takes in everything. It's the database that's stored in everything. That's basically what it is. It's the database that stores every single thing that you've ever experienced, everything you ever seen, everything you ever touched, everything you ever smelled, everything. If you come across a smell and you're like, what's that? I smell something. But what is that smell? That's what you're consciously saying. And your subconscious mind will go to work and it'll go through all of its files and say, okay, we did smell that. What smell is that? What smell is that? And it'll find the smell, and then it'll bring that thought up to your conscious mind where you can say, oh, that's somebody cooking roast beef or whatever. It brings it up consciously. So your subconscious mind is the part of your mind that you have to reprogram, because your conscious mind, you have to reprogram that too, but you have to store it, and you have to repeat it or have such repetition in your conscious mind that you're learning it, so that you're reprogramming. You have to delete information that you had in your subconscious mind, and you have to replace it with the new information that you want. And that's what you're going to be doing in this program. But the only way to do it is to replace the programming that's already in your subconscious mind. So right now, if you are experiencing that yo-yo dieting where you lose weight and you gain weight and you lose weight and you gain even more weight, it's because of the programming that's in your subconscious mind. So for example, when you were growing up, if you ate unhealthy and you ate a lot of sweets and a lot of junk food, or you get upset and whenever you get upset, you eat a gallon of ice cream. If you do it repeatedly, if you're consciously doing it repeatedly, your conscious mind is teaching your subconscious mind that, hey, listen, I need you to take this over. Whenever I get upset, get me a gallon of ice cream to eat. And that's a program that's already programmed into your subconscious mind, or something similar to it. Get me that ice cream. So without even thinking about it, when you get upset, you'll go get that gallon of ice cream. Even if it requires you to jump in the car and go to the supermarket to buy ice cream because you don't have it in your freezer, that's what your subconscious mind will make you do, because your subconscious mind will turn hell over high waters to bring you the thing that it's been programmed to do to you. So in order to not do that anymore, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can erase that programming and replace it with the programming that will be beneficial to you, and not programming that's not beneficial to you. And up until now, you have a lot of non-beneficial information stored in your database of your subconscious mind because you were not aware that you were actually programming it. But everything that you were doing was being programmed into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is going to go hella high water to bring that thing, that program that you program into it, into fruition. It's going to make sure that that happens. So no matter how much you try to lose weight, your subconscious mind is going to sabotage you every single time until you reprogram it. And you're going to learn in one of the later chapters, I'm sure, exactly how to reprogram your mind. But for now, I just want you to understand the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and how they work, an important part that they play in your life and in your weight loss process, and how come you haven't been able to keep the weight off up until now. Because the programming in your mind is going to always put you back to where the repetition, what your subconscious mind has trained it to do. Your conscious mind is going to take over, and that conscious mind, it doesn't stop until it gets the things that it was programmed to do. So it's going to do everything in its power to bring about the thing that it has been programmed to bring about into your life. Whether that thing is subjective, so it doesn't know right from wrong. It takes whatever you tell it, and it, as long as you tell it enough with repetition and with emotions, and it brings it to your life, it believes it to be the truth, and therefore it's going to do everything in its power to make sure that you stay in that programming. It's not going to change it. Like I said, it's the same as a computer. If I'm in Word and I'm working, I mean, if I'm working in a document, I can't, it's not going to switch over to Excel. Now there's a way to program it so that it switches over to Excel. But if I'm in a certain document, it's going to stay that way because that's what it's programmed to do. It can't, you know, the document thing can't turn into a video. It can't turn into PowerPoint or anything like that because it's not programmed to do that. Your body isn't your subconscious mind isn't programmed to do certain things. So you have to eliminate the old programming and replace it with the new programming that will benefit you. And that's what we're going to start learning. We're going to start in the next chapter, chapter 4, we're going to learn about your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions and the part that they play in reprogramming your mind. So I'll see you in that chapter. Bye-bye.